my bike about 25 years ago in Amarillo, Texas. And I was no jetting expert back then, but I could tell there was something off with that carburetor. The symptoms pointed to it being that the needle wasn't the right needle for the carb and the bike. So I got the James Dean jetting guide for Keyhines, which the Honda had a Keyhine carburetor. And it has lots of good information, how to understand jetting, how to understand carburetors, etc., etc. This is the page where you enter in the data. The pilot jet, the codes for the needle, the clip position, and the main jet. And I don't know how he came to result in this graph, but this graph right here shows the jetting. And the idea is not that he's trying to show what he thinks the jetting should be and compare to it. It's just showing the jetting. And if you know in this zone right here it needs to be richer or it needs to be leaner, then by playing with these settings, it will show you how this changes. Not even being a fuel-air ratio, just by the clearance between the needle and the needle jet, and the main jet and the idle. It's a pretty decent program. He stopped selling it though because he got tired of updating it with all the different needles coming out. This right here shows the taper of the needle, these being straight single taper needles right here. And this graph right here shows these 5 setups and how they differ in their jetting. And I used that to select a different needle, and it worked perfectly. And it was a great accomplishment for me, as little as I knew about dirt bikes. And so eventually I made my own jetting program, and my idea was to go a step farther than what James Dean did and try to figure out the ideal fuel-air ratio throughout the whole range and compare that to the calculated ratio through the full range according to the specs of the carb, and then graph that here. And so here you see it's the blue graph is the actual change between the actual jetting and the idealized jetting. Here you see it's a little bit lean, and here you see it's a little bit rich. And this graph right here is showing the ideal richness in the gray graph and the calculated richness according to the needle and the main jet, etc., in the green graph right here. And that difference is shown in this graph right here. But sometimes, because of the carb design or whatever, the program does not do a good job of estimating the ideal jetting through the whole range. So my update to this program is to add this graph right here, which basically goes back to the James Dean idea of just showing the combination flow area of the main jet and the needle. Take notice right here how there's a curvature to the flow area, even though the needle is a single taper. With the single taper, as that needle goes up, the area between the needle jet and the needle will linearly increase. And so instead of that curve, it would just be a straight line. If you remove the main jet, that's what you'll get. You'll just get a straight line as far as the increase in flow area. But when you have a main jet there, it puts a limit to that. And so you have a curved effect. It's going up as a result of that taper, and then it increases less and less because of the limit of the main jet. So it's a combination of the two that make that. And the main jet influences the mid-throttle jetting, and the needle influences the wide open throttle jetting. So this is what you have. Lots of clearance right there at wide open throttle. Minimal clearance at closed throttle. To get the new graph just showing the flow area, there's only like 7 different inputs you have to do, about half the normal. You have to do all the inputs in order to get this graph right here. And so you've got 2 methods to use. You can go by the base method here, or you can go by it here. The idea behind this one is that it would tell you how it is, where it's too lean and where it's too rich. On this, you have to know what the carb is doing by the feel of what's going on as you slowly open that throttle. You just slowly open it and you get too much rat-a-tat-tat-tat. That's a richness. How much of that? Okay. On a street bike or trail bike, you want just a little bit of that. On a race bike, you want a lot more. Because sometimes when it's too rich down here, it's great, because when you crack the throttle open, that extra richness helps keeping it from bogging when you open it all the way up. So my carburetor tuning page goes into all these different aspects of how you can tell what the carb's doing, how to go uphill and downhill, and judge it that way, because uphill likes rich and downhill likes lean. And just slowly open the throttle, etc. So when you're really understanding what the engine should be doing with the jetting, then this would be the easiest solution for jetting than this. The good thing about this program also is that it can handle so many different carburetors. 4 types of Mikuni, 4 types of Keyhine, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 types of Dell'Orto. So on the Dell'Orto page, to get this graph right here, all you need is the data for the needle. These 4 data points right here, including the clip position. Clip number 1 being the top one, clip number 5 being the bottom one. And it will calculate right here the millimeters the slide is open when the top of the needle taper is even with the top of the skinny part of the needle jet. But when you enter these in, it figures it out for you. But you can measure it to make sure. So what you do is you've got your needle. You've got the needle jet, which on Dell'Ortos is very interchangeable with the different sizes. You got the clip position. And then you've got this measurement right here of the slide open at taper start. And the main jet right here. So when I click one of these 4 macro buttons right here, it would automatically store that data into this graph right here and put the details for that record. This will only show you what's currently all entered right here. As you click these 4 right here, it'll store each different one right here so you can get a visual to see what difference it makes, especially with just changing the clip position. You change the clip position and you look at that number and put that right here, and then you click the store button and then it records it right here, and you do that for all the different clip positions you're interested in, and you store them right here, and you can see right here, this has got clip number 2, this has got clip number 3, this has got clip number 4, this has got clip number 5, and you've got those 4 displayed right there. So what you can see is that as you lower the clip position on the needle, it erases that needle and makes it richer. Higher is more flow area, which means it's richer, okay? But look what it does at wide open throttle. It also affects your wide open throttle. So on this red one, which is storage number 3, which you can see what here's the clip position 4, it needs to be a smaller main jet in order to be equal to the number 2 position. Let me show you. So I'll put a number 75 there. Dell'Orto is not going to be 75, it's going to be 74. Clip position 4. I'll put 4.5 right here. And then I store it again. And we're going to watch that red graph come down here. Ooh, it went from all the way up here to all the way, it went to below those 3. So I changed it too much. It was 78 and I made it 74. Let's go right in between those two and make it a 76. Store it again and it brings it back. So most people, when they're jetting, they do the idle jet and then they do the main jet. And then if they notice that partial throttle is not right, then they've got to consider the needle. But as you change that, it changes the need of the main jet. And that's one of the neat things about this program. If you know whatever you got right there is correct for the engine, that's what gives you the best peak power. Forget the color of the spark plug. Then as you raise or lower the needle, you can play with different main jet numbers to try to get it back up or back down to that area that you know is the correct jetting at wide open throttle. So I'm pretty pumped about this new addition. I think it completes the program, and for me to get a more accurate version of what the ideal jetting is, considering the fuel air ratio, I would have to go to school for like 8 years to become an engineer, mechanical engineer. What do you call that? Where you're an expert at flow dynamics. So this is a nice addition to the program. I like this. You see right here, it tells you what different colors relate to the different storage data sets. And like I said, it's the name of the needle, the name of the needle jet, the clip position, and the main jet. So you can see as you raise the clip from 5 to 2, you've also got to raise the main jet, because raising the clip lowers the needle, makes it leaner, and you have to compensate with a richer main. So I don't know. If you have any questions, please shoot them my way. I think I've pretty much covered the subject. If you're interested in the other aspects of the program for creating this graph, all these entry points out here, you look at my other video and my web page with the usage instructions. Okay? So I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching.